if the entire world could hear every single thought that you had, would you be proud? Or would you be scared and ashamed? Just think about that for a second. If the entire world could hear every single thought that you had, would you be proud or would you be ashamed? Recently, I attended a wedding of a close friend of ours, and something happened at the wedding that I really, really loved. First of all, this wedding was the most like a church service, like a worship service of any wedding I had ever been to, particularly for a wedding that was not in a church. This was a wedding that was outside at a beautiful venue, but they had worship music, and it was just beautiful scenery and great people and everything. But the spirit of the wedding was truly one of a union, right, of the two spouses, but also with the Creator, right? So it's a husband and wife and the Creator, which was really beautiful. But one of the things that was said in the vows of this young couple that was getting married that I really, really loved and I really admired is they wrote their own vows, and the woman said this in her vows. The woman said, "I promise to be faithful to you in both body and mind." I promise to be faithful to you in both body and mind. And it was that last part that really caught my attention, the "and mind." Because that is a level of faithfulness that is truly exceptional, right? That is a level of faithfulness that is truly powerful. Like that is the level of faithfulness that creates deep, rich, meaningful relationships. Is the not just being faithful in body, right? Not just I won't cheat on you, not just I won't have sex with another person, or I won't kiss another person, I won't whatever. It's faithful in mind. And that is the challenge that I have for you, and the challenge that I have posed for myself, ever since thinking about this and wrestling with this is, are you faithful in mind? Not just with body, but are you faithful with your thoughts? And it's a very practical application, right, to think about cheating and relationships to be faithful in mind, right? It means that I won't allow my brain to wander towards sexual temptation or sexual indulgence, and that is really, really powerful. And you can quickly see the power of that. You can quickly see the higher level of commitment that is versus just being faithful in body, right? And so I think we can all appreciate and go, yeah, that's pretty amazing. I would want my spouse to be faithful in mind as well as in body, or I would appreciate it, right? It would suggest a higher level of commitment. And so in your relationships, I think that is powerful, but also to your goals and to your attitude, to your self-talk, to the things that you're pursuing, to your teammates or your employees or your customers, is not just to be faithful to them in action, although you should be, right? Like you should appreciate your employees, you should appreciate your customers, you should appreciate your coworkers and your colleagues in your actions. But are you also faithful to them in mind? And here's another way to think about it, right? Is if the entire world could hear every single thought that you had, would you be proud? Or would you be scared and ashamed? Just think about that for a second. If the entire world could hear every single thought that you had, would you be proud or would you be ashamed? Would you be scared of what people might find out? I'll tell you right off the bat, I would be terrified. I would be terrified, and I consider myself to be a person of fairly disciplined mind. I mean, it's been a huge part of my life's work to develop a trained mind and to help other people kind of create discipline around their thinking and their mindset and developing growth and being leaders and influencers. And I think, for the most part, I think I have a pretty clean mind, but I don't have a perfectly clean mind. There's no doubt about it. There are nasty things that I have thought about people and about situations and about things and about myself even, that I would be scared. I'd be terrified. I'd be ashamed if they were broadcast out to the world. But that is a new standard to live by, right? That is something powerful. That is something worth aspiring to, is to go, not just if people could see my actions, right? And that's one thing, is go, what if people followed me around everywhere, and they could see every website I was clicking on and every bar I was going and every piece of food I was ordering and everything I was putting into my body. That's one thing. It's a whole nother to go, what if they could actually hear my thoughts? Would they be inspired? Would they be empowered? Would they say, wow, Rory is an amazing leader. Like, he is an amazing friend. He's an amazing husband. He truly thinks about his employees and his customers and his colleagues in only the most uplifting and abundant and caring ways. And I have that hope for my life, and I have that hope for your life. Not because anybody would ever find out, but because living a life like that means you never have anything to hide. Living a life like that means you're actually cultivating gratitude. Living a life like that, living a life to that level of commitment, I believe, internally, living a life like that to that level of commitment internally, I believe, is going to manifest a life externally of tremendous abundance, of tremendous power, of tremendous influence, and tremendous relationships. That is something worth aspiring to. That is a life worth living, and that life is available to you, not just by being faithful in body, but by being faithful in mind.